Welcome to Retire Mentorship. I am not Freeman Lindy. My name is Michael Swartz, and I'm Freeman Lindy's business partner here at Lacrosse Financial Planning, and he's invited me to contribute to the podcast. And I'm excited for our topic today. I've presented this idea to a number of clients and prospects, and I've gotten the same response every time. I had no idea retirement was so new. With that, let's explore retirement, an age-old game with brand new rules. Many of us feel as if the framework for the modern retirement has been around for centuries, but that's not the case. It's all relatively new. Now, anthropologists have found clues to suggest that currency, any physical object that represents a value, has been around for nearly 40,000 years. Shells, metals, and stones have been found, indicating that currency has been a part of human history for a very long time. More recently, the first coins were minted approximately 2,700 years ago. The first paper bills were introduced around 1,300 years ago, and much more recently, the first digital currency, Bitcoin, was introduced just 14 years ago. Since the first currencies were developed, saving enough to replace an earned income, i.e. retiring, has been an age-old game, but the modern rules of retirement have only developed over the last century. Approximately 100 years ago, your grandparents were likely part of the first generation to either own land or be born in the United States, since your great-grandparents were probably members of the first generation to settle America's Midwest under the Homestead Act. These settlers were burdened with surviving the Great Depression and Dust Bowl drought that eclipsed the entire decade of the 1930s. These settlers faced simultaneous economic and agricultural challenges that demanded their immediate attention. It was impossible for them to save for the future. They couldn't even afford to live in the present. In the early 1900s, there were virtually no private or public retirement plans. There were no Roth IRAs, no Social Security, and certainly no 401k. Now, retirement savings plans could not have been funded, even if they had existed. So creating a winning strategy for the game of retirement with a wealth-based, self-funded plan was mathematically impossible just a century ago. But in 1940, the first Social Security check was issued. In today's dollars, that benefit would be equal to just over $6,000 in 2023. But shortly after the advent of Social Security, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and America was pulled into World War II. America's involvement in the war left a lasting impression on the domestic labor force. Female representation in the workforce grew by 160% in 1940. And when the war was over and the servicemen returned home, most women elected to retain their positions, and the dual-income household was born. Also following the end of World War II, the popularity of pensions grew. Production and manufacturing facilities were incentivizing aging workers to leave their positions. The pensions encouraged older workers to retire to open the spot for faster, younger workers who were returning home from the war. But the average income produced by these pensions was worth only $11,000 annually. Even combined with the Social Security benefits of the 1970s, this income still fell well short of a fully funded retirement. Many pensions became distressed by increasing life expectancies and dwindling contributions, and pension managers had to reduce the monthly benefit drastically just to keep the plans from going insolvent. Several companies terminated plans entirely, and they transferred the risk back to the employee through the newest retirement plan, the 401k. In 1978, the 401k was signed into law. At its core, the legislation for Section 401, specifically subsection A, was designed for owners and executives of corporations with discretionary income and profits to contribute to their own retirement savings plan and defer taxes. It just so happens that Section 401, and specifically subsection K, provided the opportunity for the employees to defer their income and profits to a personally owned qualified retirement savings plan. The popularity of the 401k erupted as employers offered these qualified plans to attract and retain their employees. But with some quick math, we find that the 401k, which was again signed into law in 1978, is just 45 years old. If you plan to retire this year at age 65 and began your career at age 20, you are a member of the first generation with access to the 401k plan for your entire working career. You and your peers are the pioneers of the self-funded retirement. Other wrinkles have been added to retirement plans since the 401k. The Roth IRA became law in 1998, just 25 years ago, and nearly a decade later, in 2006, just 17 years ago, most 401k plan providers began offering a Roth component for the 401k plan. With that being said, the financial success of your retirement is dependent on accounts that have been around for as long as 45 years and as little as 17 years. Well, we have been using shells and stones for nearly 40,000 years to accumulate wealth. The accounts and corresponding laws that dictate how you manage your self-funded retirement has been around for less than 5 decades. It is imperative to your retirement success that you learn how to play the retirement game by these brand new rules that we are all required to follow. The laws and accounts that dictate your financial success in retirement will continue to change, and hiring a retirement planner who has an intimate awareness of not only your situation, but a daily awareness of how the financial future is developing will be critical to your retirement success. Thank you for joining us in Retire Mentorship.
If you enjoyed that, you would love being part of our free membership community. It's called Retire Membership, and it has a host of benefits, all for free. For example, you can always buy my book, 3D Retirement Income, on Amazon. But if you join us at Retire Membership, we will send you either a hard copy or paperback for free, provide the ebook and the audiobook so that you can listen to it if you don't have time to read it. In addition to that, we'll also provide you with a bunch of content that you can't get anywhere else. For example, we have our quarterly Retire Mentorship magazine, which comes out quarterly and has no ads whatsoever. It's just timely content to help you stay the course. We also have workbooks for our free online workshop to help you get the most out of those, flowcharts to help you make better decisions, and a weekly email to provide timely content that you can unsubscribe from at any time. We never ask for any payment information, and we never share your information with anyone else. We just want to provide timely content and help you stay the course to retire successfully and stay successfully retired. There's no reason to wait, so join us now at retiremembership.com, where you can click on the link in the description and it'll go right there. We can't wait to see you in the community. Cheers. This podcast is educational only and is not investment, tax, or legal advice.